I lost my family because winning every argument mattered more than loving them. Now the silence in my apartment answers louder than my voice ever did. I used to call myself responsible, but really I was addicted to control. I thought being the provider gave me the right to decide everything alone. Elena never asked for luxury, only peace, patience, and a husband who listened. Our son Noah learned my footsteps before words because my moods ruled the house. I mistook fear for respect, and I felt proud whenever everyone stayed quiet. That pride came from childhood, where my father measured love through obedience and silence. He never hit us often, but his anger could empty an entire room. I swore I would become stronger than him, but copied him almost exactly. When Elena disagreed, I heard disrespect, not concern, and my chest hardened immediately. If dinner was late, I acted wounded, as if delay proved betrayal against me. If Noah spilled juice, I scolded him harder than the mistake deserved anyway. I always had reasons, and that made my cruelty feel organized and justified. Stress, bills, deadlines, traffic, bad sleep, old wounds, I blamed everything except myself. Elena would lower her eyes, breathe slowly, and choose peace over another explosion. Back then, I called her silence maturity, never noticing it was actually surrender. Noah stopped showing me drawings because I corrected mistakes before praising his effort. One picture still haunts me: 3 stick figures with mine standing outside the house. Noah said it was raining there, though he drew the sun above everyone. I laughed then, but Elena looked away like something inside her cracked quietly. Even then, I defended myself by saying children exaggerate and wives become too sensitive. I hated criticism because it threatened the image I worshipped of myself daily. At work, my manager praised results, so I believed harshness was simply leadership. I brought that office voice home, issuing judgments where tenderness should have lived. Elena once asked why every conversation with me felt like a courtroom inside. I answered with sarcasm because admitting pain would have required admitting fault first. The worst nights were the ordinary ones where no disaster happened, only distance. A spoon placed too loudly could turn dinner into a cold and careful ritual. Noah began asking Elena if I was tired before entering the living room. Hearing that should have broken me, but I called it childish overreaction instead. I thought discipline built character, never realizing love builds the courage to grow. Elena still tried reaching me through small kindnesses I barely noticed then anyway. She saved me dinner, folded my shirts, and protected my image from others. I mistook her loyalty for permission to keep failing them both every day. My mother once warned me that a proud man slowly poisons his own home. I nodded politely and dismissed her, convinced older people simply loved dramatic warnings. Then came Noah's school recital, the night I finally saw what I created. Traffic delayed us, and Elena suggested leaving earlier next time with gentle caution. I snapped in the car, accusing her of criticizing me in front of Noah. Noah sat behind us, clutching his paper star like it could protect him. Elena went quiet again, but this time her quietness felt final, not tired. At the school hall, other parents smiled easily, while my family carried storm clouds. Noah scanned the seats until he found us, then immediately looked down again. His hands shook during the song, and he forgot lines he knew perfectly. Some parents smiled supportively, but I only felt embarrassed by the stumble there. Afterward, Noah asked whether he did badly, already expecting disappointment instead of comfort. I told him he should practice more, because the truth felt softer than shame. Elena stared at me with tears she refused to let Noah see fall. That night I heard her crying in the bathroom, muffled behind running water. I stood outside the door, angry first, then confused by my own emptiness. Still, I said nothing, because apologizing felt like surrendering the last piece inside. 2 weeks later, Elena forgot her phone, and a message lit the screen. It was from a counselor confirming her individual appointment for stress and anxiety. My first reaction was anger, because even her healing felt like betrayal somehow. My second reaction arrived hours later, when I realized she needed help surviving me. I wanted to ask questions, but fear made me perform normal instead again. Elena moved through the house gently, like someone packing invisible things inside herself. Noah started sleeping beside her, saying monsters came when halls felt too quiet. I knew those monsters had my face, though nobody said it directly aloud. Then I lost my temper over something absurd, a cracked plate after dinner. I shouted so loudly Noah dropped his fork and covered both ears instantly. Elena stepped between us, not afraid for herself, but afraid of me now. She said very calmly that she and Noah were leaving tomorrow early. I laughed first, because pride always speaks before reality finally enters fully. Then she placed a small packed suitcase by the wall, and I froze. Noah was holding his dinosaur backpack, the one he used for happy trips. He would not look at me, and that hurt more than shouting ever. Elena did not yell, threaten, or curse me. She simply looked finished inside. She said love cannot breathe where everyone walks on emotional glass every day. I wanted to promise change, but every previous promise stood behind me laughing. They left the next morning while I stood useless beside untouched breakfast plates. The apartment felt enormous afterward, yet every room accused me in whispers daily. Noah's toy car remained under the sofa, and I couldn't bear touching it. Elena texted only about practical matters, school forms, clothes, medicine, and pickup times. There were no accusations in her messages, which made them colder than anger. I spent nights replaying scenes I once dismissed as normal married tension before. I finally heard my own tone the way they must have heard it. It sounded sharp, entitled, impatient, forever demanding comfort while offering very little back. For years, I called myself strong, but strength never needed frightened eyes around. I entered therapy because losing them finally hurt more than confronting myself honestly. The counselor asked what I feared most, and I answered without thinking, irrelevance. Under all my rage was a smaller man terrified of not mattering enough. I controlled everything because control temporarily disguised insecurity, but never actually healed it. I wrote Elena letters I never sent, ashamed they sounded sincere too late. In one session, I admitted Noah probably feels safer when I'm absent. Saying that aloud felt like swallowing broken glass I had manufactured myself, slowly. Months passed before Elena agreed to meet me in a public cafe again. She looked stronger, not happier, and I realized distance had been medicine for her. I apologized without defending myself, which felt unfamiliar, naked, and finally honest there. Elena cried quietly, then said change is real only after consistency survives inconvenience. She did not promise return, she only promised to keep watching me carefully. So I learned patience the humiliating way, by earning inches, not declarations anymore. Supervised park visits became our fragile bridge, built from repetition and gentle restraint. Noah spoke little at first, studying my face like weather before stepping outside. The first time he laughed beside me, I nearly broke apart inside. I still do not call myself changed. I call myself accountable daily now. Some damage healed slowly, some never fully will, and that is fair enough.
I tell this because arrogance rarely looks monstrous while you're living inside it. If love feels smaller around your pride, step back now before silence becomes permanent.